Sometimes that is as good as it gets. But we are here. Good
The
morning, Nick
most
Smith.
important part.
That's right. We showed up. So I had a little issue last night where I forgot to plug my phone in. Thought I had enough juice in the battery, and fortunately, I still woke up without the alarm. So apologize. All apologies for being a little late, but good to see you guys this morning.
I was just thinking I was Willie Mays Hayes. I'm like, did I get cut already?
Did I get cut already? It's such a great, man, such a great movie when he's out there on the bed on the field. Did I get cut already? That's actually a great spring movie to watch. I haven't watched that in a long time. The original Major League, by the way.
Tonight.
Yeah, the original Major League, not number the second one. The second one wasn't very good, but the first one was pretty good. That's for sure. So it's all good. Getting the shoulder ready here this morning. I'll tell you what, this heat pack, it's amazing. So I know being older stinks and all that, but like if you go through the routine, getting the heat on the shoulder here for about 7 minutes, then do a little stretching, man, it makes all the difference in the world. I'm actually doing push-ups and pull-ups now, not full pull-ups. I'm doing about 50% pull-ups, but doing some pull-ups, which is great. So feeling a lot better, which is awesome. Nick, what's going on in Florida in your good world down there today?
Man, I went out and did the Spartan race at Raymond James Stadium where the Bucks play this weekend. Did 2 laps of that. Absolutely crushed the first lap, which was really exciting for me. You know, I haven't done a pull-up since August. I haven't done a half pull-up since August. So
Really?
to get out there and actually go clean on all the obstacles just reminded me that I guess the accumulated skill and experience still counts.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Feeling pretty good about that. And then I think I'm finally going to suck it up. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can still try to get away with this. But I haven't belonged to a gym in over 10 years. But I think I might sign up this week because I'm just realizing the delta between my swimming ability and where it needs to go for the Ironman 70.3. So that's what's up this week.
Nice.
What are you trying to do this week?
Getting into swimming. I think I'm finally going to sign up for a gym so I can get in the pool more often because I'm only tagging along with my wife like once or twice a week, and then I'm going down the golf, which is great. But, you know, I really can't cut out like an hour and a half in the middle of the afternoon 3 times a week to drive down to the beach and back and get the swim in, whereas the pool's like I can ride my bike there.
Yeah. The convenience of the pool, the gym, or wherever. Here in the Midwest, in the Lombard, you know this because you're love for the Midwest. Here in the Midwest, the pools don't even open around here until Memorial Day. You get a 3-month window of a pool in Missouri. Other than that, you got to move on to somewhere else. So it's just how it works. It's just the way that it goes. Looks like Lombard is glitching today, freezing up a little bit out there where he's at. He'll be back. He'll be back here just a little bit. And I think Pedro might be.
He was texting us just now.
Yeah, he logged into his computer and he's got some loads.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's got to deal with. So we'll see how that goes. Here we go. There's Lombard. He's back. Yeah, he's back.
I don't know what's going on with it this morning, but yeah, there's always people like, "Where do you swim for this stuff?" And then they're like blown away when I'm like, "Oh, I go to the YMCA," and they're like, "Oh yeah," it's like they forgot about it, you know.
Right. My daughter did the same thing today. She can't wait to swim. She loves to swim. And I'm like, "You can swim anytime. You can go up to the Y anytime." She's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Yeah, modern problems, modern solutions. It's like, yeah, but again, it's people love creating that excuse, like, "Oh, where do you swim? I don't have time to do it." And then you're like, you list it out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah, exactly. I had to find out the pool opens at 5 a.m. The Silver Sneakers people have a class at 9. So as long as I get my workout in between 5 and 9, there might be just a couple people kind of walking the pool, but that always make room for me. But like anything, right? It's if you want to do something, that's one thing. If you want to do it well, you kind of have to learn the skills to do it. I mean, I grew up on an island. I've been swimming my whole life, but I don't actually know how to swim. And I'm realizing that very quickly. And so I want to, practice keeping my head down and breathing right. Because if you're going to do something, you might as well do it well.
Yeah, breathing's big when it comes to swimming. You can last a long time if you learn to breathe right. And are you a 3-stroke alternate breather or a 4-stroke, same side breather, or a 2-stroke same side breather?
Right now, I'm just to try to breathe and survive while I swim down.
Whenever I need breath, kind of a breather.
Well, I'll work on that as we go.
Yeah. I feel with long swimming, I found that alternating sides, going 3 and alternating sides, actually keeps it somewhat interesting. It keeps me thinking because I just kind of keep turning my head different ways, and That seems to work well for me to do that. So I'm a big fan of the three-stroke alternate side, Brett. But that's just me. Michael Lombard, what do you do? You got any certain technique?
Oh, I mean, when it comes to swimming, I still breathe really primarily on the right side. No crazy technique. It's anywhere from really 3 to 5. It all depends on how I'm feeling that day and like what I did beforehand, if I'm swimming in the morning or night. But I just keep it casual.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, depending on how I'm moving. Yeah, it varies. Like if it's just a long swim and I'm just like cruising, it'll be probably every 3. But if I'm doing like, and I don't do this very often, but like there's some drills I do, and you're kind of breathing every or every other.
Yeah, yeah. You're discriminatory to the left side. You're a right side only kind of guy. I get it. That's how it goes. That is how it goes. I'll tell you what I'm loving, boys. It's summertime. We're coming up real soon, and the yard is growing. And I'm back to mowing and doing some yard work outside. And I got to tell you, sometimes just doing a little yard work, moving some things around, doing some raking. I put down some dirt and some seeds and to cover some bare spots where we're at. And man, that was a fun little workout this weekend. My mom was here for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to everybody out there. All the moms making it happen. My mom was here in town, and I said, "Hey, you want to go ride go-karts?" Because my mom's a real fun mom. You want to go ride go-karts? You want to do some yard work? What do you want to do? Because she loves doing yard work, man. Like it's just like one of her favorite things to do. And she's like, I want to do some yard work. So we got some bags of dirt, and we hauled them around the yard and dumped them and put some sand with them, put some seed, and had a good time. I'll tell you, like just little things like that, decent little workout, So it's nice to be able to get outside and get some sunlight and throw some bags of dirt around, bags of sand, and have a good time with that. It was nice to get out and do that this weekend. So
where's the ruck?
I don't own a ruck. I need to get a ruck. I don't even own one yet. I know. I need to get one because when I'm mowing the yard, because I love mowing the yard. I did one season where I paid somebody to mow the yard because I was like, oh, I'll save my time, and there's something to be said about that. But I missed it, man. I love mowing the yard. I'm a big fan of seeing the lines, and I love trimming. It's like a barber, who loves giving haircuts. Man, you just love the final product. Loves seeing the final finished product. That's how I am with the yard work. So I do need to get a ruck so I can just wear that when I'm doing the yard work.
That way I feel like I'm not wasting time, or like I'm like, damn it, I gotta be doing something else. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is God's work out here.
That's right. Good call out. Put some wrist weights on, maybe some leg weights,
That said, I just hired somebody to do my yard. But man, it has to be done weekly down here. It has to be done in a week, and it has to be done at crack acid dawn. I don't have a ride-on lawnmower. I'm deathly afraid of snakes. So, and I've already seen too many, so I know whatever, but I have given that up. But I know what you mean, because when I first moved down here, I'm not a handyman. I don't really know my way around certain things, but I know how to do yard work, and I really enjoyed getting out there, cutting the yard, cutting trees, trimming things, raking it all up. I just felt like I was doing God's work out there, but not that much.
There's a lot to be said to having a project, like to be doing, and you said, well, like, and it could be anything around your house. It could be like doing, I have a good friend of mine. She actually works over at Arrive Logistics. She built her entire back deck. Is always working on something, and there's a lot to be said on what that stuff does for your brain, and then being outside. When it comes to outdoorsy stuff, again, like I'm from the Northeast. I'm no country boy. Again, I was talking about on LinkedIn yesterday. I'm not a y'all guy. Me saying y'all just doesn't even look right. I'm a you guys supremacist, but outdoor stuff, I've still had this allure to always, when it comes to camping and stuff like that. And last weekend, me and 3 guys, we were out, we went canoeing for like 30 miles, and we were out there for like 8.5 hours, just like, and it's not an easy river. You're not just paddling. You got to get out. You got to portage. You got to do all this wild stuff. It poured twice, and that 8.5 hours, nothing has went by quicker. Like, man, did it feel like it didn't even feel like when we were like 10 miles in, I was like, I couldn't believe how we moved 10 miles. It's like you get this exhilarating feeling. And I've never canoed. I've only canoed like in Boy Scouts in like 2003
Really?
was the last time I've ever been in a canoe, and it wasn't no 30-mile canoeing. It's just you like paddling around a lake or something like that. And so it was like electric, and now it's like a drug. Now it's like, man, I want to do more. I want to do more out there. I want to get a kayak. I want to do all this stuff. It's
Yeah.
hard to carve out time to do those activities and projects, but there are those things that are natural ways to keep you active and wanting to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we also moved rocks because we got this new little flower bed in the backyard that my mom and I built last Mother's Day. Because I'm telling you, she loves being outside. We had a good time doing that. And we moved some rocks to finish it up from the rock bed. Just grabbed a couple, rocks enough to fill it in. And yeah, it's just fun. It's having projects, moving some things around. There's something productive about that in your mind. It's like that it's the creation and like curating, like cultivating those things that are kind of innate to the human spirit. Man, you do those things out in your yard, keep building, keep adding things in or making things look good. We had to take down a trampoline that got destroyed in the wind. Took that down, put that on Facebook, got it out of there. Now I got a big spot in my yard that's got to be, kind of retilled and seed going down and all that, and try to, get some grass growing there. But yeah, man, those projects outside are valuable. Let's see who's in the comments today. Let's see who's in the comments today. We got Jessica Howington again. Good morning. Good to see you as well. Yeah, beautiful sunrise for Michael Lombard. That's right. The early morning sun is coming back. It's coming back. Although
It's finally playing catch up. Yeah, he takes the clocks go forward, but now you're getting it earlier and earlier, which is good. But the heat's coming. So speaking of projects outside, people need to not just your water, but the electrolytes. Again, not enough can be said. A lot of people fear sodium, but like a lot of times that afternoon slump you might have, you might think you need that 1 p.m. cup of coffee. Yeah. Most likely you are dehydrated. So again, if you're doing work outside and if you're doing some extra work as it gets warmer, keep up with the I use BPM's electrolyte powder. A lot of people like that Element, but up in the sodium is where it's at.
And go get your Iron Minds water bottle, people. Ironminds.io. You can get an Iron Minds water bottle. And just remind yourself to keep drinking water, throw some electrolytes in there, some good stuff in there. And
man, that was the issue out at Ray J the other day. You get these thousands of racers that come out for an event, and they just don't think about it. A lot of them, I see my buddy Nicky Knack join there. Hey, Nicky. It was hot as hell, man. And you're in a stadium, you're not getting wind, and you were just sweating. Even when you're standing there, you're getting dehydrated. And so, especially as people are getting longer in the races, man, that dehydration hits them hard. They don't see it coming. And then, of course, on the course is just water. So you're already in an electrolyte balance before you even hit that first cup of water.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the day before Ironman Texas, I had 5,000 milligrams of sodium. On the bike alone, I was definitely consuming over 1,000 milligrams per hour, and it still was not enough. Given I was on that bike for 6 hours and 20 minutes, like it still was not enough given the fact that I had cramps heading into the marathon, just like feeling like my stomach's tightening up, and I had to play some catch up, and it became manageable. But like, your body will change, especially as it gets hot. And so whether it's before bed or first thing in the morning, the electrolytes are king. I think people, you do get sodium through your food, but it's still like not as much as you might think.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as much as you might think. That's a good point. That is a good point. Oh. All right.
Oh, and apparently if you climb like 1,000 flights of stairs when you've got quad tendonitis, you're going to hurt for a few days. as I'm slowly realizing that.
Dude, Michael, you look like you are out in the middle of nowhere. I love it. That's beautiful, man. Look at that.
It is really cool. What stinks is it's like, well, actually you can't see it this morning, but normally like right behind me, there's like fog, but you can see the Austin skyline. But that's kind of what I like about where I'm at is like, would I like to be closer to some of the stuff and deal with less traffic? Sure. But it is really neat. Like you look out and there's some rolling hills right off in the distance and you'll see cows and then you see the city skyline. So it's like, It is good. It is a little picturesque. Like still close enough to the city to go experience all the stuff that Austin has to offer, but then like stretch enough away to where you're still seeing like I said, there's a farm, there's like a ranch like right in front of where we live, and so it's good. It's like the best of both worlds a little bit. Like just close enough to get in the busy city, but then just far enough to also kind of be in your own zone.
Yeah, dude, you're in a good spot there. I've been to your spot. It's a good spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You've been down off 35, and yeah, the highway's not that far. But yeah, it is a gorgeous place. Yesterday in Austin, yesterday was 512 day, which is the area code. And again, I mean, that's important stuff. I can't lie. That's something that's been on my mind because I saw a really cool video that was like celebrating 512 day, Austin Day, as locals might call it. And choosing where you live is a really important. There's I really want to I'm going to do a whole show because I'm coming up on the 5-year anniversary of getting down to Texas like this month. So, and I think there's a lot to be said. And I look at there's a couple defining lines of like, there's a couple like stops, like new chapters that kind of have happened over the course of like my overall fitness transformation. Like I had, I kind of felt disgruntled career-wise 2017, 2018, I turned it around. And then 2020, like totally just like, totally just, jumped out the plane, with just a parachute by moving. And what's happened just since moving, since getting out of, what I'm used to, like leaving even though I was stationed in North Carolina and it's not like I'm unfamiliar with travel. I've never lived anywhere else besides Camp Lejeune and back in Connecticut, and getting out of that is what has spurred my brain, like what it's done to my brain, kind of like building a project or doing a puzzle. Like what it's done, it's unwired and rewired my brain in so many ways that where once I did something like move 1,800 miles from where I live, it's again similar to crossing like any finish line. It's unlocked this new part of my brain where I believe that I can accomplish things I didn't previously think I can accomplish, so to speak. And it's hard to move. People like anytime, and that's a staple of people from Connecticut. They're all dying to get out, but none of them will do because they're held back by whether it be family, or sometimes they're comfortable in their current job situation, and it's actually pretty good, but they don't like where they're at. But again, like you might be comfortable in a job situation, but if you are unhappy with where you live and it's not serving you to where you're best, like it's good to take the one step back so you can take 2 steps forward, and kind of choosing where you actually want to be and live and do things, get things done will totally change your life for the better. The idea of getting out of your hometown, at least giving it a shot, because if it doesn't work, you can go back. This isn't the 1800s.
Right. There is something really healthy about putting yourself into a new spot with roads you don't know and, topography, lay of land you have to learn. And I would love to live in a different city every year. It'd be so much fun just to try different things. I think it's one of the reasons why we love RVing is that it takes us, to places that we normally would never see, never be. And you got to learn new things. You got to expand your horizons. And I love what you said, unlocking new levels in your brain. That's such a cool thought of like, how can you unlock new levels of your brain and not just do the same stuff over and over,
It'll be 20 years that I've lived in Florida now since this October. And it was 20 years ago in January where I was standing in a parking lot talking to a guy who was 20 years older than me. And he's like, Nick, why the hell do we live here? Up in Massachusetts. The third nor'easter we've had in like a week. And I'm like, Joe, you're like 50. You got kids in school. You got a family. Your wife's a teacher. I know why you're living here, but I don't know why I'm living here. And I was like, this is my last winter and I'm out. And that was it.
Yeah.
And there was no looking back. It's been a long time since I've seen snow.
Boys, look at this. This is progress right here. I'm so excited with my shoulder.
That's solid.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to do this kind of stuff in a long time, dude.
People doubt those, those small movements like that, working like muscular fatigue, high rep counts. And again, if you are trying to like overall build muscle, sure. But like again, you can build muscle with body weight and light weights. You just do have to work the body to fatigue. And I even say that I know this guy Joe. I mean, he'll do it sometimes throughout his day, and he's a pretty built guy. But like, I even posted that dead bug video recently of like a core exercise. And if you think about if you just did 200 lunges, like 200 reverse lunges, like standing there in a row, you're gonna feel it. And if you just do 200 shoulder raises, you will feel it, and you're gonna work it to fatigue. You know, if people overthink that you need certain things, but you really don't. It could be the smallest things that could help. That can help you lose weight, burn calories, and get your mind right. And just doing those lateral raises over and over.
You just hold your arms in the air long enough, you'll get tired. your arms have weight to it, and you just hold them up. Hold them straight out for a long period of time. Hold them out. You just do that for a while, and after a while, that shoulder will start to burn. You don't have to overthink it. That's for sure.
That's some of the hardest things you do at boot camp, like in the Marine Corps. Like, I don't think it's, normally you see like videos, it's always like push-ups, guys getting steamed up. But so many times, all you'll do is you'll stand on line and you've got to hold your rifle out by the barrel, and you just have to, and you hold it straight out in front of you. Yeah. And like, they just make you hold it out for as long as you can, just by holding it by the barrel. And, the gun itself is like what? Like, maybe 8 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, they'll just make you stand at attention and hold it out by the barrel, and you'll be doing that, and people will dip and whatever, and you'll just be doing that for 15 minutes.
Right. I mean, look at this overhead shoulder press. I haven't been able to do this in probably 6 months, man. It's so nice. It's still a little sore, but it's like manageable. You know what I'm saying? Like I can push through it.
It's you're actively displaying what I talk about almost on a daily basis, which is having the ability and the autonomy to move your body, especially pain free. And it's taken for granted every day. Like I think one of the most taken for granted things is if you're able to be on 2 feet, if you still have your thumbs, if you can raise your hands above your head, like having the autonomy to do that. Again, like I remember breaking a small bone in my foot in 7th grade, and like, you're on crutches. Somebody's got to help carry your books. And when you don't have and it's the littlest thing. It's like you still feel in control. Like, again, there's no neurological disorders you might have for an injury, but when you can't do something as simple as lift your arm over your head. And like, if you're like, say, and you're a young guy, like just being on the airplane, getting the bag in the overhead compartment, how embarrassing, like how does that feel when you have to go through that? And like, so that's why if you've got the autonomy, use it every single day. You've got to give yourself give yourself that gift, the privilege to be able to move your body in a way so that way you can hold on to it as long as you can, or you're going to lose it.
I mean, this motion right here, I'm not even doing a pull-up just yet on this. I'm just rotating the shoulder blade in the back, pulling myself forward. But to be able to do that and to not be like in excruciating pain, oh man, like such a blessing, dude. So nice, because 3 months ago, I couldn't have done that right there. Couldn't have done it,
And people, it's great. And that's why, like, anybody who's like thinking about getting started or they're not really active, they'll hurt. They go for a 2-mile run, it'll hurt. But then, like you just said, like 3 months ago, you couldn't do that with your shoulder. In 3 months, if you start running 3 times a week, what you couldn't do 3 months ago, now all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've never ran 5 miles before. And it happens so quickly. And again, we're talking about unlocking different levels of your brain that starts to expand your belief in other areas of what you've got going on, whether it be career wise or anything, what it does, how you navigate certain tough situations, how you navigate family problems, like what it does. It feels like a new portal in your brain when you do certain things you don't want to do.
And the easiest way to start running, especially for people who have never really ran before, is just to go commit to walking And while you're on your walk, run as far as you can.
Think about
At first,
20 miles.
yeah, at first it's going to be, you might be able to run for 4 blocks and you're like, okay, I'm done.
Look at that.
You know, oh, nice. Nice. Look at this.
My neighbor.
Nice. That's a good looking truck. But you know, you might run for 4 blocks and you just like that, you're done. Okay, that's fine. And then keep walking. And then the next time you go out, try to run 5 blocks, you know, and run as far as you can and keep walking. And then after a while, it just starts to snowball, starts to build up, you know?
Yeah, I know for some future Iron Minds episodes, I would love to, I would definitely love to give some running stuff. There's a couple track workouts that are on Tuesdays that start at 6:30 or what have you, but there's going to be some Tuesday mornings where I'm going to put myself at the track and get it out there alive.
Yeah. I mean, being able to do a plank like this and then do a push-up, again, two months ago, couldn't do it. 3 months ago, couldn't even do this. Couldn't even just do a plank, you know, much less a push-up. And now, you know, it's like, I can feel it a little bit, but this is just a dream, dude. I love doing push-ups. And so this is great to be able to get this back, you know?
The simplest exercise too have the biggest benefit, like doing a high plank, doing a push-up. I talked about it at Broker Carrier Summit. When you build that core strength up over time, I mean, people complain about their back pain. I mean, what it's going to do for your spine. Like when you just sit in that high plank, your lower back, I mean, you're opening up some gaps in your spine, and you're going to be pain free. You can either hurt now or hurt later. Like you have 2 options. Like you can either hurt now for 30, 45 minutes a day, or you can hurt all the time from not choosing to hurt.
The injuries that you guys have seen me enduring on this is a drop in the bucket compared to the pain that I would live in if I did not commit to the lifestyle that I have. The 7 herniated discs, the nerve damage, the massive imbalances would wreak. I would be bedridden with pain if I didn't move. Like, yeah. So, yeah. And then stuff like that, that's just the cost of doing it. But,
Yeah.
I love it when people are like, but running's so bad for your knees. I'm like, no, sitting is bad for your knees. That's why it hurts.
Right. Sitting in a chair for 8 hours is bad for your knees, bad for your hips, bad for everything. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie for the heavy lifting I do, or not really heavy lifting so much. I mean, the heavy volume that I get. Again, I don't have knee pain. Like, and there's a running again. I've been doing since 2020. You know, that's when I really started going all in on running. And I mean, my knees feel better today than they felt in 2017.
Yeah.
It's just there's a right way.
Out of all the running I've done, this is the first time I've ever had knee pain, and it's actually like, so there you
go. and there's like anything, there's technique to it.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about if you're 50 pounds overweight, running's probably going to hurt your knees because you're carrying extra weight. You know that your knees are not meant to carry. Every pound you are overweight is like 8 pounds of pressure on your joints and your knees. So yeah, you definitely want to get your weight down for sure. But oftentimes that's the cause of the knee pain and the hip pain is carrying too much weight around, you know? Michael, I'm not saying for you, like you're in good shape, dude. So, you know, body fat count is low. It's where it needs to be. Those joints don't hurt when you get your weight where it needs to be, you know? Not like it does when you're 40, 50 pounds overweight.
Bingo. Yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors. And again, yeah, there's technique to it. Not heel striking, not being up on your toes. Like there's longevity hacks to making sure you can be able to run longer, run harder for longer.
The thing that most of us lose as we get older because we sit on our asses and don't do anything. And then when the glutes get weak, all those other things start to happen because everything I just described was my running form, and I am actively working to correct it.
Right. Yeah, your body starts to, make up for weaknesses in other places. If you got one muscle that's really weak, other areas start to compensate for it.
Huge. I'm glad you bring up the glute. I mean, I've got one of my good friends who's here in Austin. He's a phenomenal personal trainer. His specialty is glutes, like quite literally, like calls himself glutes by Ant. I mean, he is like obsessed with it because the glutes and the posterior chain controls so much again of whatever you're trying to do. And when
you see a problem with that, so many things.
It's a huge problem. I mean, it's all a ripple effect. Like if your glute meat is tough, you could have lower back pain. It all links up. And when you work the glutes and when they're strong, I mean, just being able to do, like, I can do think about it. Think about how many people can do, we talk about pull-ups, but think about how many people can do a pistol squat. I mean, having that level of mobility and strength to be able to do a single leg squat like that all the way down is incredibly difficult to do. And when you're able to work that up, I mean, you're if you're able to do pistol squats and your glutes are strong, you're almost probably 99% probably pain free everywhere. Like I've never seen, because anybody, whether it's somebody new starting out, like especially people who are getting into running early on when they're complaining about some early ailments, or people who are endurance athletes, like the reason why they're in pain will be linked to their glutes. It's wild how much the butt is enjoying. You spend too much time on your butt, it'll
we're supposed to be up walking around all day, you know, so it's a big part of how it is. But most importantly, got to keep the body moving. You know, it's like you said, Michael Lombard, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And you know, you can pay for it now or you can pay for it later. It's just like anything else, you know, it's like finances, you know, you can save money now so you can have money later. You know, as Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else today so that, you know, 20 years from now, you can live like no one else. It's the same thing physically. You know, you can, if you're willing to take the pain now, you can avoid some of that pain later on, you know, from not doing anything. And having that mindset is really, really valuable. It's super important. All right, fellas, we're coming up on our 30 minutes. Looks like you're back in the neighborhood, Michael Lombard. See the cars, the houses, and all that. And it's good to get up and see you guys this morning. Listen, folks, remember, most importantly, find your tribe, find your people. As we see on here, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Go find your tribe and get moving today. Have a great day out there. Fellas, great to see you, my friends. We'll see you guys.
We are the tribe. Join up.
Let's go. Peace out.